I'm Prince Faisal from the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, President of our National Olympic Committee, and I welcome you all to Jordan.
Welcome to round 2 of the 2006 ITU Triathlon World Cup Series. This week, the world's best triathletes have moved from Doha, Qatar to Aqaba, Jordan. The course works its way past the world-class beachfront hotels. The transition area is located on the Arab Revolution Plaza in front of Aqaba Castle. Aqaba is one of Jordan's fastest growing vacation destinations, which began as a small fishing village just a decade ago. Within driving distance of the world-famous Dead Sea and the ancient Temple of Petra.
I remember hearing about Petra when we first decided that I was going to come to this race, and I was so excited to see it. When I was a kid, I remember watching the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade movie and thinking, wow, how cool would it be to see that place? But I never actually thought I would come and see it with my own eyes. And to be here and to have the opportunity to see it, such ancient history and the evolution of mankind just right here in front of me, it's really quite fascinating. And getting out there and seeing it in person, it's one of these things that triathlon brings to us that I never expected to have in my life. So it's great and it's wonderful and it's very exciting.
The history in that place is just incredible. It's when you turn up to the main amphitheatre there, and there it is. It's just breathtaking, and it's hard to believe that it was built so long ago. I've seen Petra on the movies and on TV. I never thought I'd be standing there in front of it. It's a great opportunity that I never would have got without triathlon, so I'm very happy for that.
It'll be our standard 2-lap swim, 750 meters twice for 1,500 meters in the Gulf of Aqaba. Out onto the bike for a total of 40 kilometers, 8 laps, a couple of roundabouts each time, a small descent into the transition zone, and then out onto the run. 4 laps, relatively flat, just a small ascent and descent out of the transition zone. 25 degrees Celsius, it's a perfect day for racing.
I want to be like the last year, but I don't know, I want to do more than last year, but if this year will be the same like the last year, will be very good, but I will try to be better and better than year by year, so I will see. In this winter I can do not so good season of swim because I have a problem with my back, so. But I think now I'm good, I'm fine, so I will see which wind conditions I will be on the swim for tomorrow. But then after the race, I will have a stage again. So I will put again more kilometers on the swim for it to be very good this year.
We've never raced here, obviously, in Jordan, and you don't know what to expect. And because of the, recent media and everything, you're a little unnerved about what conditions you'll be in. But everyone involved in the organizing of the race and everything has been very helpful, and it's been very relaxing since we've been here. So it's probably good that we played it up and and it's a lot more relaxing than we thought. We always have Fernandez. She could be in our group, or she's definitely the marked woman. I think she's got the fastest run, and nowadays without the huge front women's pack or 3 or 4 girls, fast swimmers, it's going to probably come down to a running race. But we'll see if we can break it up a little bit and make sure there's nobody just hanging on for, to take a position.
I go back after Doha to Germany, and then I fly to Munich. And I thought I would go to Egypt because it's very near from here, only 40 kilometers, and then I had an easy ride to Jordan, but it's not like this. There are so many frontiers between, and you have to walk and take taxis, and nobody would cross the frontier in a car because it's so difficult for them, and they don't want to go from Egypt to Israel and from Israel to Jordan, and so it's all by foot or by taxi, and it's very difficult. And it took me 5 hours for 40 kilometers, and it was a new experience for me because in Europe everything is easy at the frontiers, and here it's very difficult. I try to swim after Laura and bike with them, and in the run everything will be normal. You try to come to the podium and you try to run hard, but I think Vanessa is the best runner in the field, and so she will win the race. And but the second place is for us.
Joel Franzman saying what probably most of the women have thought for a while: when Vanessa Fernandez is in a race, it's very hard to see yourself fighting for anything other than second. Franzman, Bennett, and Julie Swale just coming on to the pontoon as they are getting ready for their final preparations. We're just minutes away now from round 2 of the 2006 World Cup Series. Little final preparation, and after Vanessa Fernandez, Franzman and Bennett certainly 2 to look out for. Tanja Hubrecht from Austria having a great race at the Doha World Cup race, and Anna Burgos very fast on the run. Her day really will come down to the swim. -22°C, no wetsuits will be allowed today, and as our elite women head off, once again it is 2 laps, 750 meters each for a 1,500 meter total swim, and you can see Israel in the background here at the Gulf of Aqaba as already 2 American athletes are pushing the pace very quickly. That's Laura Bennett and Sarah Gruff at the top of the screen. In the middle is Joel Franzman. And already we have seen our American athlete Laura Bennett going to the lead, her teammate Sarah Gruff just onto her feet. And then a trio which includes Franzman, 1 Japanese, and 1 of our Chinese competitors as well. A perfect day for racing here in Aqaba, Jordan. Prince Faisal has come out to celebrate triathlon in his country, and the athletes were very excited throughout the week, and you can see the gap that has already happened. 5 athletes have really gapped the rest of the field, and it is the 2 Americans that are pushing the pace up front very quickly right now. Most of the athletes made the trip over from the World Cup race in Doha, so it was an easy hour flight for those who came on the charter. Others who went home, like Franzman, had a little bit of a bigger challenge to get here. And coming in for the first of the swim preems, it is Laura Bennett, who will be back on top of the pontoon, heading back into the water. Her teammate Sarah Gruff just behind her, and the 2 Americans have really gapped themselves now back to our 3rd, 4th, and 5th place athletes. That's Akini Fratani, Franzman, and Qing Yang from China in 3rd, 4th, and 5th place, and then a large gap back to the athletes in 6th through 10th place as we see them coming out of the water right now. Swale coming out of the water, List from Germany, Wang from China. Fernandez just going through the screen right there. So Vanessa Fernandez back a little further than she would like to be, but we know that she's very powerful when she gets out onto the bike and run. Continues to be Laura Bennett just coming around the second time on this 750-meter loop, and Sarah Gruff is in there as well. The two Americans have really put a significant gap now back to Franzman, Fratani, and Chamiang from 7th at the Doha World Cup race, and that was a huge breakthrough. And as we look back from Sarah Gruff, who now is leading this World Cup race, we can see our 3 chase athletes, and then a significant gap back to Julie Swale, Vanessa Fernandez. But it'll be Sarah Gruff who will make it out of the water first. Just over 19 plus minutes now she comes out. 19:37 for Sarah Gruff from USA as she's first out of the water. Laura Bennett, her teammate, just a few seconds back, and they have a 150-meter run now to get back to their bikes. But the American duo have a unique opportunity now to take off and see if they can gap the 3 athletes just coming out of the water. About 20 seconds back now to Fratani from Japan, Franzman as well, and our Chinese competitor in there. So a trio of athletes now chasing down the 2 Americans. And the balance of the field are still in the water. The top of the screen, that's Sarah Gruff and Laura Bennett coming into their bicycles. Bottom of our screen, we can see our trio with Fratani from Japan and Germany's Joel Franzman just coming towards their bike. Sarah Gruff at the top of the screen getting ready to head out. And our main chase group coming out of the water right now, they are down by about 40 plus seconds, and that includes Fernandez, Julie Swale Katsana from Japan, List from Germany. Franzman now with her helmet on, and she's getting ready to head out on the start of her 8-lap 40-kilometer bike ride. So a lot of activity in these next few minutes, and it'll be very important as we look towards the top of the screen. Laura Bennett right now is already into her cycling shoes and well into the bike, and Fernandez and most of the chase pack are still coming into the transition zone. So Bennett has had a fantastic opening leg here to the swim, and she is making the most of this early section of the bike course. Laura Bennett from USA and Sarah Gruff 1-2 right now as they head out onto the start of their 8-lap 40-kilometer bike ride. Our main chase group now just getting onto the bikes heading out. They'll be down by just about a minute. And Laura Bennett has been in this position many times before as she goes by the Jordan flag on the start of this 40-kilometer bike ride.
Confirmation of the swim results. Sarah Groff from the USA was first with 19 minutes and 36 seconds, with Laura Bennett just 4 seconds behind. The group of Fratani, Franzman and China's Chunyan were 20 seconds back, while pre-race favourite Vanessa Fernandez was in the main chase pack, another 40 seconds behind them.
It's still very early on here in our opening leg of the 40-kilometer ride. Already somebody down. It actually looks like one of our officials as our lead women, Sarah Gruff, Laura Bennett, right now working very well together, and they will get some information at the end of the first lap to see what kind of gap they had out of the water and whether or not they're able to sustain that. Laura Bennett and Sarah Gruff right now, the 2 Americans who led through the opening 1,500-meter swim. Bennett first at the swim preem at 750 meters, and there is Vanessa Fernandez, and she is doing as she has done so many times in the past, and that is taking off the front. She's going after this 2 American duo at the front, but they will find out very quickly that the Vanessa Fernandez freight train is coming, and it looks like Fernandez might have just gone down. Back up again, and we understand that she may have gone down in a crash, but here's Vanessa Fernandez, who is already now passed by the chase group that she had pulled away from, and showing tenacity once again. We're not sure how much damage may have happened, but she did go down, we now understand, in a crash, and Vanessa Fernandez has now caught back up to the chase pack, but it remains the 2 Americans as they'll come back towards the transition zone at the end of the first lap, and it is Sarah Gruff and Laura Bennett. And now we can see our trio of athletes that came out of the water in 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. Franzman, and Fertani from Japan, and they are just about to be caught up by the chase group from behind, so their extra swimming has not seemed to pay much dividends early on in this 40-kilometer ride. Right in the middle of the screen, that is Vanessa Fernandez, and you can see why she is so feared. She went down in a crash, has already caught back up, and she is the person pulling that entire chase group along as they go back after the group of three ahead. And absolutely everyone's chasing the two Americans as Laura Bennett and Sarah Gruff continue to push the pace here early. Gruff has benefited from some great training over the last winter.
I know Sarah's training with doing some good training, so it's good that she's pulled into the top 10, and hopefully she'll continue that. You know, the U.S. girls, we've got a bit of a void, but we still have good girls around. You know, you take out Barb, Sheila, and Susan, and you know, we're going to have to fill those spots up, which I don't think is a problem, but it's nice to have some younger girls coming up as well, so when we retire as well, they'll fill in the voids, and yeah, so we support all that.
Well, I definitely believe there will be a little bit of a void for a year or two when you lose Barb Lindquist, Sheila Taramina, and not so much seeing maybe this year Susan Williams. You have to believe that's a huge void for the American team to fill. Our chase women just going by the cameras here. They are heading back towards the transition zone. It is Bennett and Gruff coming down the slight incline back into the transition zone. And Laura Bennett, Sarah Gruff right now will be coming right by the front of the transition zone, and the first of the bike preems to Laura Bennett. That is a name we've heard many times in the last 2 years since the preems have been added in. The confidence she's had in her bike over the last 18 months have been significant, and her husband, Greg Bennett, one of the most feared cyclists in the sport, certainly has helped work on her biking abilities. Only a 30-second gap from our chase group of athletes up to Laura Bennett and Sarah Gruff, and with Vanessa Fernandez and Franzman, and along with Tanya Hubrick into that chase pack, the American women are going to have to really up the ante because they are starting to lose some time right now to the chase group. And one of the women doing lots of the work on the bike, Tanya Hubrick, who has been a very powerful woman for Austria in the past. She's had some of the fastest bike splits over the last couple of years. In Madrid, the 3rd fastest bike split, 6th fastest at the Cancun race in 2003. She loves the bike, and that's where she makes most of her time. Looking back right now to the athletes in the chase, Vanessa Fernandez, Ricarda Lisk, and as the two women from USA come back towards the transition zone, they are continuing to lose time right now. Gruff maybe just a touch over her head to try to keep that kind of pace going, and certainly the motivation of a young athlete when they get out into the lead is contagious, but it often costs them later on in the race, and knowing your body, very important in the sport of triathlon. They're up and really pushing the pace once again, and as our Spanish athletes just coming through the screen right there, Evelyn Williamson from New Zealand, the bronze medalist from the '98 World Championships. Very powerful bike runner. And you can see right now the two Americans are just about to be engulfed as Vanessa Fernandez and Tanya Hubrick have done their work on the bike, and they have just about evaporated what was a almost 45-second lead at one point, and now it's down to less than 5 seconds. We're halfway through the 40-kilometer bike ride, and Laura Bennett will realize shortly that she and Sarah Gruff are just about to be engulfed. And here they come as our lead motorcycles are picking up the shots. You can now see it as one significant pack. And they will really now come down to whether somebody wants to make a breakaway here late in the race. Next of our bike preems, and it's our young Hungarian athlete just coming through right there. She's had a great ride. Zita Zabko from Hungary with a great ride, and she is a very powerful cyclist. We don't know much about her running abilities, but certainly she has had some good rides over the last couple of years. And Bennett taking the first of the bike preems, Zabo taking the second. Our young Japanese competitor trying to get the pack to move a little bit faster here in the final lap of this 40-kilometer bike ride. But I think at this point it's really now going to come down to the run as the main two packs have all come together. The significant runners that want to see each other are in there getting their fluid, getting ready for the 4-lap, 10-kilometer run. And it is now time for these athletes to start to focus on what will be a very intense opening 2.5 kilometers. First time for the athletes to race in the Middle East. They were in Doha, Qatar just a week ago. Most of them have made the trip here to Aqaba, Jordan, and as they start to come out of their cycling shoes, it is now the time to assess just exactly how much fatigue they have used. Julie Swale coming into the picture right there. I can see to the right of the screen Joel Franzman, who's in a great position, and her confidence after last weekend's silver medal has to be at an all-time high. Vanessa Fernandez had the number 15 coming into today, so she'll be a little bit further back out of the transition zone, but the opening few hundred meters is usually the time when Vanessa Fernandez tries to really push the pace. And there she comes, heading out. It was Laura Bennett, one of the first athletes out onto the run. And the women will have a small incline out of the transition zone, and then they will head towards the middle of town, through a roundabout, and come right back towards the transition zone for 4 laps.
A large group, including all the main medal hopefuls, started the 10-kilometre run together in just over 1 hour 36 minutes.
Laura Bennett in the lead, but there is that silver Portuguese bathing suit that is flying up the upside, and it is Vanessa Fernandez in her patented position in the lead very early on the run. Bennett sitting in second place. She was the bronze medalist at the Doha World Cup race just a week ago. And we'll see whether or not she's prepared to go with Vanessa Fernandez. Fernandez seems to be very confident right off the front, and sitting back in third and fourth place is Franzman, along with Tanja Hubrick from Austria. Laura Bennett having to decide just how hard to push, and Vanessa Fernandez now has started to open up a significant gap. Bennett back by 8 seconds, a further 10 to 12 back to Tanja Hubrick and Franzman in the white hat. And as third and fourth place now try to pull away, it is Vanessa Fernandez putting her stamp on this race. At 20 years of age, 7 wins out of 16 World Cups. She was 8th at the Olympic Games, the current European champion, both 23 and under and elite. 8 wins since her Madrid World Cup race in 2004. She is a absolutely fierce competitor. We're looking back at athletes 3 and 4. Franzman on the left. Hubrick having a great race right now in the red outfit. Our Spanish athlete sitting back right now in 5th and 6th, and I can see Ricarda List sitting back in 6th place. You can see the cuts on the side of her hip right there as Vanessa Fernandez takes on a little bit of fuel here in the opening section of this 10-kilometer run. And as Laura Bennett tries to stay hydrated, it is absolutely perfect conditions, just over 25 degrees Celsius. So the athletes were elated at the conditions. Nice warm water, beautiful air, not too humid. Bennett right now getting pulled back by Franzman as we're just passing the 6-kilometer mark. And Franzman showing some great confidence in her running as she's going after the American Laura Bennett. What's amazing about Vanessa Fernandez is that right now she's at about 70%, her coach said, for the season. Really just coming off of her base, and she looks incredible. Second and third right now as they come back towards the transition zone. Franzman trying to bridge the gap now. It's down to just a body length and taking the lead. So Franzman showing great confidence. Whether or not Laura Bennett will go with her, they still have another lap to go. And late in the race, it is Vanessa Fernandez showing recognition to the crowd as she will add another World Cup victory to her already incredible resume at just 20 years of age. The Aqaba World Cup champion for 2006, Fernandez, with a finishing time of 1:59.43. She was just over 33 minutes for her 10-kilometer run, and she doesn't even look tired. Down in the crash, pulled back the chase group. And it has been a confidence builder over the winter as Franzman, who could just never get above a bronze medal until last week at Doha, now will have 2 silvers in a row for 2006 and she will take over the #1 ranking in the world. 2 hours, 46 seconds for Fransman, a 34:22 run. That is a huge improvement over 2005. And it'll be her second bronze medal in a row as Laura Bennett crosses the line just over 2 hours, 1 minute. Ricarda Lisk back with a great 2006. A 4th place finish for Ricarda Lisk. Was out with injuries the previous year. And Tanya Hobrecht will have her all-time best performance, 5th, as she crosses the line.
Today I don't feel good on the water and not in the bike and in the run also. So today I win, but I don't feel good. I know I have to work a lot in a lot of things because today I saw again Rebecca and Americans swim a lot also, so I know I have to work again on the swim.
I'm very happy with this race because Laura was away from me and I thought it's too far, but in the last 2 laps I could reach her and I'm very happy with my run. I worked on this since the last 2 years and last year it was not better, so I thought everything was not good, but this year it's better and yeah, that's very nice.
I didn't think it was attainable to catch Vanessa, of course, but Joelle had a good run and I think I went out a little too quick with Vanessa, but you figure in some ways try to stay away from the rest of the field and only a couple will come through at you, so I was pretty happy with that. I thought I might lose a little bit more, so I'll take it.
Portuguese Vanessa Fernandes won the 8th World Cup race of her career on the day she crashed during the bike leg. Germany's Joelle Fransman had her 2nd silver in as many weeks, while American Laura Bennett had her 2nd consecutive World Cup bronze. Germany's Ricarda Lisk and Austrian's Tanja Haibock reached a career best with 4th and 5th places.